Hi, my name is Pamela Stansberry, and I'm going to talk about the practical spirituality for healing when it comes to depression. Depression is something that so many people, particularly in America, in modern America, there's so much depression and suicide. And this is a subject I know very well because I came from a past of suicidal depression. And you can read my bio if you want to know more about me. Long story short, studied many years with Tibetan Buddhism and Christianity. I've been in a monastery a brief time, actually a Catholic one. So I have been, and I also do healing, but I have been searching a long time for answers. And I don't know if we ever get to a point where we're done, we're completely healed, but you can get to a point where you can live and be happy and have joy, even having to deal with pain, because being human is difficult one way or another. And I'm going to pre-warn you, I have my dogs are all around. I have 2 dogs here and a cat and chickens. We'll probably get interrupted. Maybe not. They were good the last time. So this is more about depression and just practical spirituality and methods to help you get through it. And maybe also understanding. I'm sorry, I'm going to move this just because the light keeps shining in my face. But to help you understand where it's coming from, and by understanding more about why we have depression and such, it can help you deal with it. So I'm going to start with myself and where my depression came from, and try to just go from there. My depression, childhood abuse. I was told, get back to honoring my mother and my father. I have a respectful relationship. My father has passed. My mother is still living. I love them. However, not saying anything is not going to help anybody. So I'm going to use my situation to show what I did. And the truth is, what I did lines up with a lot of religious philosophies and psychological philosophies of how to heal. But I'm just very thankful that I'm able to explain it in very simple terms. And so, childhood abuse, I was treated as a female. I was treated that with disdain because my father did not like women. He was very misogynistic. He treated women, or he thought of women as inferior. My mother went with that. She was brought up in a time where women were meant to be moms, and if you weren't married and you weren't a good housekeeper, then that was pretty much your value. And if you didn't have those things, you weren't worth really anything. You were not a successful female. So with that said, that is just what she was taught, and that's what she had to deal with, and she was working on that ideology to move forward. So, and I was a child in the 60s, so in Lower Alabama. So Lower Alabama, we have all this racism and, horrible, horrible atrocities being committed against other people. And women were second class citizens. We're still fighting for that. But, to just have decent, treatment and equality, which, because we are obviously as valuable as a male, why wouldn't we be? So I was taught that I was inferior because I was female, and then I was also taught I was stupid, just because it turns out I have dyslexia. I'm very dyslexic, but that didn't limit me. Nobody told me that anyway, but I was diagnosed as dyslexic. But it makes me not able to memorize math equations because I see things linearly. And I also have problems speaking sometimes. Linear, non-linearly. So I see things differently. Let's just say I have a very high IQ, apparently. I found out much later, but um, it makes reading out loud very difficult. Although I was an avid reader since I was 4. So my father told me I was stupid all the time. So I grew up thinking I was stupid. And so you get this ingrained stuff, and everybody gets it in some way. Everyone gets it. There are no perfect parents. Fabulous parents are still imperfect. And we pick up things from society as well. I mean, look at the fads now. Oh, you got to be so skinny to be beautiful. I mean, really, in this time, it's the first time I've seen it where women are finally learning it's okay to just be who you are. Curvy, skinny, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just be who you are. But we've always had these very, and I won't just say it's women, but we have these fads. Oh, you have to be really skinny to be beautiful, or this or that to be desirable. Um, so those things were things I picked up that were not truth. And most of what you pick up on this planet isn't truth. It just isn't. It's just an opinion. It's a fad. It's something somebody said. Even in religion, there's all kinds of doctrine that is not based in real, actual, like compassionate teachings. And I actually get great value out of my religious teachings. But I look at everything and I evaluate everything. And I've grown where I seek wisdom and truth first. So, with that said, my depression came from feeling less than. I did not feel lovable. I was not treated lovingly. I was very lonely as a child. I'm looking for my dog because I feel like she's off somewhere. Come here. Ah, there she is. Okay. She's a baby. So anyway, good girl. Thank you. Don't knock down this. Don't. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, okay. Now go away. So anyway, I'm sorry. A little diversion. So I was brought up feeling unlovable, and that is a huge thing. And that can develop in all kinds of ways. Parents can be overwhelmed with something and not be as affectionate to a child. Children think everything's their fault. Everything that happens, they think, if you get a divorce, somehow they think it's their fault. So one way or another, whether you're a great parent or not, or whether you had great parents or you didn't, you pick up things, and you pick things up from people around you in society. And like I said, most of it is just, I'll just say it, bullshit. It's just bullshit. It's delusional. It's misinformation. And we are just programming ourselves with this stuff. We're programming, I'm unlovable. That's been a big one. I'm unlovable because I was not able to find the experience in my childhood of having a loving family. I loved my brothers. I had a loving grandmother, but I did not have a loving family. It was hostile and abusive. And so growing up with that idea, it colored my experience. And as it colored my experience, I began getting very depressed. And it manifests. The way you think about yourself manifests in life. Okay, she wants to be on camera, so here she is. There she is. Okay. So with that, I get to high school. It just progressively, it's dysfunction. It's just basic dysfunction. Very lonely. I had ideas. I wanted to sing. I wanted to do art. And I got very, after my parents got divorced, I was very troubled, and I drank. I started drinking at 12 and staying stoned, and you don't make good decisions when you're drunk or stoned. And that just snowballs into bad choices that make you feel worse about yourself. And so there is the seed of my depression. Having that foundation, that very beginning foundation, where I felt unsafe, I felt unlovable, I felt unworthy, I felt stupid. I mean, what more do you need as a foundation for depression? I mean, I don't